After FIFA week, the international players returned just in time to board a plane once again, this time to Tunisia, the life of a professional football. Hi, how do you feel?
The club always tries to get the best for us, to travel comfortably and get enough rest as we can. In Africa, it's very difficult to travel from one place to another, especially direct flight, because there might not be flights that come direct from South Africa to Tunisia, and it becomes a little bit of a challenge, and you must stay in transit for a couple of hours, and it's a little bit difficult because for me, coming from the national team as well, I had to travel through a lot of countries to get back to South Africa and then fly back to Tunisia. It becomes a little bit heavy on me, and it affects me some way, somehow, but there's nothing I can do. All I need to do is probably to stay focused and get myself back in shape and try and do the right thing at the same time.
All I can say is it's part of the job, you know. It's all about being professional and manage yourself as a professional player, you know, because whenever I get time, whatever, 2 days or 3 days, I just rest, you know, sleep, so that my body can be fresh. I have already known my progress is going to be a tough schedule, you know. So that's why every time I get the time, I just rest.
To add to the already tough fixture against Esperance was the fact that it was Ramadan, and hence the game was to be played at 10 at night, out of respect for the Muslim players who were fasting at the time.
And we have to train late at 10 o'clock. It's something that you're not used to back at home. But anyhow, look, I don't think there's so much adjustments that we need to do. It's simple. We rest during the day and we just wake up at that time and go train. And we really know what we want, and we have adjusted to these conditions. It's just for us to go and train and try and get what the coach wants, you know, and prepare ourselves.
So it was the first session for us to train since we came to Tunisia. The training was good, although the weather, you know, is too hot. The coach emphasized how we have to play. We had to understand the approach of the game that we're going to play against Esperance second round. It's very different from the first game. Coach has to make sure we understand how we have to play, and the guys, they responded very well, and I think it was a good session for us to have.
With the whole day to wait before training sessions, the players' minds have a lot of time to ponder, and it becomes as much a mental struggle as a physical one.
I spoke to one player from, I think it was the captain. He said to me, we don't know how to win games. With the North African teams, they know how to win games. They'll do everything to win the game, and they play smart. They don't play for beautiful football. They play to win the games. We are their home, and they'll try and do all sorts of things to win the match, because they know if they win the match, they've got like a better place than us. You know, they can easily secure quarterfinals. So it's going to be difficult, but we prepared for it. We know they want to do a lot of diving and blocking. We'll see how it goes, but we prepare for it.
It's tough, but it's a very important game to win. We can't rely on the last 2 games. We never know what is going to happen, but this is our chance. We know what to do. We know that we need to put more to win this game.
All we need to do is to have a self-belief and work a little bit harder, because the reason they got results against us in Pretoria is because they worked a little bit harder and they were running aggressively, and that's what we need to do at the moment, because no one will feel sorry for us. All we need to do is to fight hard, and you know, when you fight hard and you bring in your A game, and the skill will come after. So for us, it's not about feeling sorry for ourselves, because this is all we have now. It's a do or die situation for us.
Match day, and the team arrived at the daunting Stade Olympique de Radin, focused and ready for the battle that lay ahead. Vive le bleu, Jean!
At the moment, we have that positive mind that we need to believe that we can beat them. So we don't worry about defense. We only worry about the play, about our play, that we must produce good football and take those chances when we trade goals. We don't worry about defense, because we have faced that situation in City, Zamalek, all over the games that we played in Africa. There were too many supporters, so we don't worry.
We saw the video how the supporters support the team. It's going to be really packed. It's going to be difficult for us in the field to communicate, but then movement is the most important communication in football. So we as players, we're going to make it easier for our teammates by communicating with the movements.
I think in games like this and understanding the importance of the game, we know sometimes we'll pitch on the day. So we just have to keep on the beast mode and try and do everything that we want and give our best, because we're the current champions, you know, we can easily claim that spot again.
When we entered the stadium, it was one of the best feelings we can ever have as players to play under so much crowd. It's really not scary, but it's motivating for us because we play away from home, and obviously the crowd will be against us, but they come in numbers to make sure that you not only play against the 11 in the pitch, you play against the numbers of the supporters across the stand. It's a nice feeling to be playing under pressure because we've been through such things before and we've seen this. For us, it was a norm for us.
But the battle wasn't just against the 11 on the pitch and the 12th man in the stands. The challenge was also to keep their cool in trying circumstances. Esperance are the masters of gamesmanship.
Yeah, they were trying to play a man game on us, but then we knew exactly what they were doing, you know, because we spoke about this, because the Arab teams, they're like that. Especially if they want the result, they do everything to get it. So mentally, we were prepared, and we take every challenge that came in our way. We were not complaining, because the more you complain, the more you get down. So we make them to feel like we knew what you guys want to do already, so there was nothing you guys can do to us. And I think that's kept us in the game. And we went there to play football, not to fight. So I think we left the referee and the linesman to make decisions, and we were only there to play football.
It's something that we have experienced since we started the Champions League. We know the strong and the weaknesses of these countries, and we understand now the nature of this Champions League. You know, when we play this Champions League, we can never be naive in defending. You have to be always on top of your game, because these people are more advanced in tactics. They understand how to kill the game. They know how to win matches, because they've been in this space for years. We should take notes. We knew that the North Africans, they are very tactical. They know how to play in tight spaces. They know how to use their bodies. They know how to win fouls in front of the box. And for us, we knew if we defend clean, we stand a chance, because then they can't match us when we put the foot on the ball and we try to move the ball around.
But the player who got the most attention from Esperance was Yannick Zakri. A seriously cool head was required from the Ivorian.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Maybe the team know me. Maybe the referee don't care about me. But before the game, he got to talk to me. He said, Zakri, calm down during the game. I know an experienced player will do something for make you angry. Calm down. So I listen to the coach.
It goes back to the preparations. We prepared for this fight. We knew when we go there, the only thing that we're going to get, besides playing football, we're going to get a fight. It was good for us to prepare the fight before, because the only thing that will make us not to win the match is for them not to allow us to play a normal game and to unsettle us in situation. You could see the off-the-ball incidents that they were creating just to unsettle you. But if you're not mentally strong, you fall for those intimidation, you're going to lose your balance. You're going to lose your play, and that's where they want you.
And when the field tactics were not yielding results, the fans did all they could to unsettle the Brazilians. A thick cloud of black smoke drifted over the playing surface in the dying moments.
At some moments, we could see each other. At some moments, remember there was a black smoke came into the pitch. For a moment, we couldn't see each other. Unfortunately, the ball was out. And we waited a bit for the smoke to fade away. But I get joy from this experience. When I play in such conditions, I get joy. I always want to play in these difficult conditions, because when I look at Mamelodi Sundowns over the years, when they play in these difficult conditions, they bring the best of them. And we've been winning matches where nobody would ever give us a chance that we would win. It was a difficult match, hostile. But we came there with a point, and we could have even won the match. It's something that we should, I think, encounter every match we play. And I think these are good experience. We need them as players.
The Brazilians managed to hold on in Tunis, and the draw meant their title defense dreams lived on.
In the change room after the match, obviously, we were a bit disappointed, because we had a chance that we should have took, but we didn't. But looking at the match overall, we gave our best, and a point is not bad away from home, especially playing team-like experience. So it was something very encouraging to see us playing against this powerhouse of African football and still manage to contain them, manage to create chances more than them, to manage to even dominate in their backyard.
We felt proud within ourselves, because we went there to get a result. And then before that game, I think St. George lost to Vita. So the draw that we got in Tunisia, we were going to be number 2. That's what we wanted, you know, not to be number 3, number 4. We wanted to be number 2 because we still get 2 games to go. And imagine losing in Tunisia, it was not going to be good for the team. So I think the draw that we got it, we were happy of the draw, but we were not like happy. You know, sometimes we don't play for draw or so. But that draw, I think it was necessary, I think.
The Brazilians managed to hold on in Tunis, and the draw meant their title defense dreams lived on.